Hello everyone and welcome back to Brendawareness. We're at episode 14, which in my brain is just like, wow, now you could listen to one episode for 2 weeks straight. I don't know why I was thinking about this, but this sounded really exciting to me. How is everyone? I hope you're doing well. Just a quick disclaimer. I was being told by my close friends who listen I should stop explaining myself and apologizing on the podcast, which I don't know what it is. I just feel like, I have to think about like the people that like me or that like the podcast will listen to whatever I'm saying, even if I'm like repeating a story, even if I'm not making sense. But I do want to say, if you can hear the AC, I'm really sorry. I don't know if you remember the last time I'm in New York, by the way. The last time I was recording in New York, I turned the AC off for recording this, and by the end of the episode I was dying. So I put the microphone as close as possible to my face, but I don't know if you can still hear it, so apologizing in advance. I am in New York. I landed, 2 days ago, and I am here for Fashion Week, which officially in 3 days. Whenever you're listening to this, it is currently September, 2nd, 3rd, 1st. Did you guys pay rent? I think I did. Did I? Anyways, I am here for another week and a half. Anyways, New York Fashion Week starts in a few days, but slowly it's happened that people are doing stuff like dinners, parties, events much before New York Fashion Week officially starts, either because New Yorkers are already back from vacation or fashion people come a bit earlier and use their flights of whoever's flying them in and like are staying at friends' places, and like everyone's kind of already here. So I'm really glad that I'm already here. We would have extended in LA actually, and now I'm like, wow, I would have missed all of these events tomorrow. I don't know if you guys, sorry, no more apologizing on my own podcast. If you guys care about Sephora and makeup, I'm not really a huge makeup girl. I love the process of putting on stuff on my face because you're like, it's very therapeutic. English. It's very meditative for me to just like look in my face and like put my little blush on. And yesterday I did a big like Sephora trip by myself. It was such a good like me time. If you're traveling a lot, you kind of reduce yourself to the most like minimal amount of products because everything's heavy, or they take it away from you in TSA. And as I'm at my boyfriend's house, I have a lot of stuff, like I really spread myself out here, but I was missing just some makeup stuff, just if I want to have a little fun. I wear the same stuff every day. I don't know if I've ever went through my product list, but I think that's better in video form, like a dedicated video for people who really care about this. But I didn't really need anything, but because it's Fashion Week, like sometimes I want to wear, be crazy, wear a brown mascara instead of a black one, or the other way around. And I just told myself, like, I'm just browsing and not browsing. I'm just like, I didn't have a set list of things that I wanted, I wanted things. And sometimes, even though I don't like to splurge on makeup, sometimes I like to just like try out new products. And I'm not really, I don't really get makeup sponsored. Like I don't really get things sent. I get beauty stuff. No, that's not beauty. Skincare stuff sent to me, but never really makeup. Maybe it is because I'm wearing the same thing every day. I get a lot of Pat McGrath products for free because a few of my friends work there. But besides that, I just wanted to like see what's new. And if you're more like my generation, and if you're from any country that isn't the US, if you have traveled to the US as a teenager or young, like a few years ago, it was like such different stuff. And I feel like now, globalization, we can get everything anywhere. But there's still like some things that aren't just like in the store. Well, actually, I don't even know. I don't leave my house. I wouldn't know. I bought some things by Makeup by Mario. I feel like he became famous because he was Kim Kardashian's makeup artist, right? I really like I don't know if I'm for sure just like influenced because I've seen him do a video with someone or something like this, but I'm really big, which the product should matter more than the packaging, which is, I love Pat McGrath, but don't like the packaging. And the Makeup by Mario stuff just looked really pretty. So I just bought myself a little brown nude palette, some lipstick, like really dark purple lipstick, which I really want to do the look of like a lip and no eye makeup. I don't know why I pronounce makeup so weird. And yeah, so I did a big Sephora haul. And what I hate here is there's no prices on anything ever. Like I went grocery shopping this morning, and in one of these like really bougie, like a Erewhon style places in New York, and there's no prices everywhere, like on anything. So I'm just assuming everything costs like $8.99 or $12.99, even if it's just like nuts, berries, whatever. And I was checking out. Sorry, I don't know how I got to my. I'm not apologizing. This is really becoming a problem, right? The apologizing on my thing. I'm checking out and it doesn't even say the amount. Like I'm just like Apple Pay and don't even know how much I'm paying for my 2 tote bags worth of groceries. I only saw the receipt later. It was $120. Are you kidding me? Anyways, I really spent a lot of money at Sephora yesterday, but I got a lot of Makeup by Mario. I got some new makeup like eyeshadow brushes. And what else did I get? Laneige, which is the product that every makeup artist ever puts on my lip, like a lip mask. And I bought I don't know, something to carry around during the day. It's not really a mask. What else did I get? K18 stuff, my hair products. I feel like I've talked about this before. I don't know, I have to do a whole haul. Anyways, we were just in LA, which I feel like I talked about this on the last podcast that I was going. We were there for, should I check the time? 4:15, okay. We were there for 3 days, 4 days, 3 nights, 4 days. And it was so great. I love LA. I don't know what everyone has against it. It's also like New York and LA are constantly being compared, and they're so not similar. Like, I don't really get this comparison of like, you're either a New York person or a LA person. I love both for the same, I don't know. I would never compare any city in Germany to Berlin because everything is its own thing. Anyways, we stayed at the Sunset Tower, which it's one of my favorite hotels in the world. One of the best, like most comfortable beds in the world, I have to say. And the service there is so nice. I am a person through work and personal life that is used to luxury travel, but often places make me a little bit uncomfortable because they're so fancy and things are so stiff, and some people really like this on vacation, like treated like royalty. But to me, when there's a certain barrier, like a distance between staff or just anyone who works in the service industry and me, I don't like that. And Sunset Tower, even though it's very fancy, it always feels like very relaxed, very relaxed. Like you can talk, I don't know, like we talked to like all of the staff and know their personal stories, and I don't know, it just feels so nice. And it's also, it's one of my biggest red flag with dating someone is that like if they're rude to service people, and my boyfriend is like, I don't know, the opposite, the best, like chats with everybody. And yeah, it was just a really nice time. And yeah, if you follow me on social media, I'm sure you've seen that my best friend Johannes, I feel like I mentioned him here so many times, has just announced his collaboration with Kylie Jenner's brand Kai. I feel like the Kylie Jenner brand is maybe a year old. I'm not a huge follower of that. I know she did a collaboration with Entire Studios, who I really like, and I don't really know who came in between, but I don't really want to speak so much on Johannes' behalf, my best friend. I have known him since 2017. He did his master's at Central St. Martin's, the MA in design. So they were like, anyone who was in the MA in that course were like gods to me. So I was a little bit, Johannes is also German, too shy to really approach him at CSM, but I was already a super fan of his brand and of his vision. And as soon as he graduated a little bit earlier than me and then moved to Paris, and yeah, I was really a fan, not a stalker fan, but a fan. I showed up to every showroom, every show that he's done, and then we slowly became friendly and then friends. I don't really know the timeline of that, to be honest. I don't think he knows either. But yeah, then in the pandemic, he moved his studio to Berlin and his team, and we've become really, really close. And now he's one of my like core group of friends in Berlin. And I don't know, I'm getting goosebumps talking about this, but he is like getting the flowers he deserves finally and the recognition. And yeah, I'm so excited for him. Kylie has been a long time like actual supporter of his brand and his bought stuff and has like posted things on, say about them what you will, right? But she's really supported him. I think, I don't know how much a Kylie Jenner post costs on Instagram if you want to be tagged, and he's been on her feed maybe like 30, 40 times, which over the years, which is so exciting. And yeah, she came to his event in LA to support him, and she was really lovely. I have to say, she looks really great in real life. Obviously, I feel like I've talked about this before. I'm really not a fan of people not disclosing their cosmetic surgeries because I feel like, yeah, that can be really a toxic cycle for young girls. But the recent coverage of her and her during Fashion Week, the like awful pictures of her that have surfaced, I think especially last February, like that fashion cycle. And yeah, in real life she looks fabulous, like glowing skin and really like humble, sweet aura, I have to say. Anyways, it's really crazy to see the energy of people change when like a huge celebrity comes into the room. And you would feel like in LA people get used to it, but then again, the Kardashians are probably the 1% of like what everyone in LA is like thriving to be or looking at. So yeah, I always find these moments really crazy. And I feel like every celebrity ever talks about this, but it is nothing to be envious of. Of course, the money is great, but you can achieve that in other things. But fame itself, I remember one time, because I'm exposed to a lot of celebrities and things can become kind of normal, and yeah, you never really look at them with envy. I remember one scenario, but there's so many like this, but I remember one scenario. I was at a very exclusive event at the Chiltern Firehouse. It was an after party of someone, and I felt like everyone in the room was quote unquote important. Like it was CEOs, it was crazy like Victoria's Secret models, a bunch of influencers, but really big ones. Like I was kind of the least important person in there. So everyone in the room should be used to celebrities. But as soon as Justin Bieber walked in, and this is really like, I don't know how many people fit in there, maybe 200, 300 people in the Chiltern Firehouse. And as soon as Justin Bieber walked in, with, I don't know who he was with, but the energy and people like sneakily getting their phone out, people like trying to like get closer to him to either say hi or to get, like people became so desperate, and that was quote unquote important, not even important, but like people who should be used to having this kind of celebrity energy around. I was really shocked, and even at a party like this, which was so exclusive, Justin Bieber was like a zoo animal. I don't know, this gives me goosebumps because like you can't leave your house, you can't, I don't know why I went into this rant, but it's, yeah, the closer you get to this kind of fame and celebrity, the more you realize like this is not for everyone. It would not be for me, to be honest. Anyways, LA was really great. We were just there for a really short time. I have to say it's always nicer if you have a car. We were Ubering because we thought like, oh, it's not really worth like getting the car, because you have to pick it up. It's like you land at LAX and then you have to take the buses of that rental car company to the rental car thing and then get it and then drive. And yeah, I regret not getting a car. It's always so much nicer when you can drive around. Excuse me, there were a lot of things on my bucket list that we didn't really get to do because, yeah, LA, just everything is far. We went to the Eames house, Charles and Ray Eames. I don't know if you know, but one of my favorite things about LA is the mid-century houses and the mid-century culture in general and design and architecture. I feel like this is very underlooked part of LA, but there are so many great architectural design houses that you can visit and book tours. It's a bit messy, like they all have their individual addresses, but websites. The Stahl house, I feel like that's the most famous one probably, or the John Lautner house of James Goldstein, that weird guy. Those you can definitely, the Stahl house I think you can visit, and the James Goldstein, probably if you have some fashion show you can go. I feel like anyone and their mother has been there by now. But yeah, so case study houses were kind of I feel like I'm really gonna butcher this, but a design movement after the Second World War when there was a housing crisis and a bunch of people returned and were looking for housing or about to start families, and there needed to be a cheap, new, innovative way to design houses. And who was it that, I should know this name, someone commissioned these houses and asked a few designers to build them basically. And by now most of them are not accessible to the public because some rich person bought them, and sadly not all of them are like heritage houses or weren't until the 2000s. So some got demolished, or like people have like built mega mansions around them. But a lot of them still exist. And Eames, you just Google Eames House LA and there's a website and you can book tickets. You need to do a little bit in advance. You cannot see the house from the inside. You can just walk around, but you can peek inside. It's already worth it, and the tour is great. And I have a bunch of books in my house about the house, and I had no idea that it was on such a giant piece of land with ocean view. And I don't know, we had a really cute tour guide, and yeah, that was really, I try to do like one of these things when I'm in LA, but you can also just do the classics. Like I love the Getty house, for example. Anyways, we also went to Dover Street Market, my Roman Empire. I actually love that Dover Street Market. It's a bit of a trip to go to downtown LA. It's in this, weird mix of like houseless people and super expensive galleries, and then like cool cafes. You have to really, I don't know, it's not the kind of energy for everyone, I have to say. But yeah, I really love that Dover Street Market. I don't know when it opened. I think it is the newest, right? I've been there a bunch of times before. And it is all on one level, so like ground floor everything, which I would say it's pretty, there's stairs inside, but pretty accessible. One of the most beautiful rose bakeries, because there's like this beautiful all white courtyard, so stunning. I think they have more menswear than any other Dover Street Market. Maybe this is just my own, maybe I made them up in my head, but really great Dries. I have to say Dries right now, I don't know if they're even publicizing, because Dries left his brand obviously, and it's being carried on. I don't know if this is just in-house design team or if they've announced that anyone else is there, but since like a year, I'm not a huge, obviously he's a legend, but it's not my own aesthetic, but since a year, the price point's really good. It's one of the most cheap, I can't say cheap, but the most affordable luxury brands in that category. Always really great merchandise. I love the shoes. I almost bought this really beautiful brooch, black velvet flower brooch, but then it was like $160, and I was like, do I really need this? But I might still get it. I feel like it's on Essence. What else was in there? I didn't love the jewelry this time, but yeah, really great Dries. Beautiful Alaya. I wish I was that Alaya customer, because I feel like a lot of the things can even, because when you think of Alaya, you just think of the crazy like dresses, evening dresses, but a lot of the things you can actually wear during the daytime, I feel like, and the stretchy skirts, it's just really not in my price point, but so beautiful. A lot of beautiful the row. I feel like, I mean, to me, maybe not to the customer, but the row just keeps getting better. Oh, we also went, the row store in LA is really worth a visit. Obviously you can't take any pictures in any of the stores. Wait, are there just two stores? Maybe there's just the New York and the LA store. I'm not quite sure. The LA store is very different from the New York one. It's like very mid-century, and there's a pool in the middle. So beautiful. And I was talking, I mean, we just went to view it. It's very obvious, like when we stepped into the store, that we weren't buying anything. They always have really great sales staff, I have to say, like such cool people, very approachable. And I met this really cool guy, a little bit older, and he used to work at Barney's LA, and then he was at Prada for 10 years, and now he's at the Row, and he was just like sharing the most fabulous stories. And yeah, I really feel like it's one of those brands where, because I'm fortunate enough to see the stores, like the storytelling at the Row, just incredible. Like it's such a cool vibe in there, and yeah, the sales advisors are so, like, they all are completely different. A lot of them, like, I would say over 50 and so chic, but not like in an arrogant way, like approachable. I would always, I don't know, just I've only ever had really great experiences there. I think I've told you this before, but The Road does a playlist either every week or every month on Spotify, or maybe on more streaming platforms, but it's really, really good. If you just are hosting a dinner and you don't know what you're putting on, I can highly recommend. Okay, back to Dover Street Market. What else did I see? Ferragamo. I picked up a few like very beautiful dresses that seemed like thick silk, and I was like, what is that? Because it looked like too flowy for Alaya and too heavy material for Prada, no offense. And then it was Ferragamo, but when I checked the price tag, the dress was like $3,000. And I don't know how it's going for Maximilian at Ferragamo. I hope it's going well. I think he's an amazing designer. I was such a fan of his own brand. I feel like either it was in his contract to shut it down or pause his own brand, or it was too small that it didn't need to be like continued while he was at Ferragamo. But I was a huge fan of his. I think he was in Fashion East, right? Fashion East is like this London thing that supports young designers. I'm a huge fan of his. I think he's super young also still. I think maybe Ferragamo price point was, maybe I just don't know that brand too well. Maybe the price point was always that crazy. I think the difference, the gap between his beautiful designs and who was actually the Ferragamo customer buying like boat shoes, the gap is a bit too wide. So I don't know if they're alienating the old customer, or if what we see as fashion people is just the fabulous stuff and what's really in the stores is the boat shoes. So I don't know that, but I found the price points like really crazy, which if I had that budget, I would buy the Alaya. I wouldn't necessarily buy Ferragamo. But yeah, it was really, really, really beautiful product. And I just think it could be a little bit more affordable. It's a problem a lot of brands have, right? Like Burberry, to me, the solution would be so easy to fix their problems. I don't know why they're trying to be like high luxury when they could just sell trench coats, like beautiful trench coats and beautiful shoes and beautiful boots. I don't know why they're trying to be so fashion so hard, because I don't think anyone needs that. But anyways, yeah, really, really beautiful Dover Street Market, I have to say. I highly recommend going if you're there. And super lovely sales team as well, I think. I packed completely wrong for LA. I was looking at the weather app, and I'm a Celsius girl, so beware. It was like 30, 31, 29 degrees. So I've packed my whole summer wardrobe, and then I completely forgot LA is actually cold. Because you see these pictures, excuse me, of the celebrities in their puffer jackets in LA, and you're just like, what? Like, this is like, what? It's summer there, but it gets super cold at night, and 29 degrees in LA is not like New York, because in New York it's humid as fuck and everything smells and there's no wind. In LA you're by the ocean, so the weather is a lot different. So I really flopped with my dressing, which is why there's only just like 2 Instagram pictures of LA on my feed, because I did not pack well. And I have to say, because I always pride myself on brand awareness of like, I'm such a packing genius, and I like, that means I'm not shopping because I packed all the right stuff. And yeah, it was a flop. And I have, like, maybe this is embarrassing to admit, but it really affects my mood if I don't have my outfits. And so LA was really great, but I did not pull any looks. It was sad. And we went to one really great sushi restaurant, Fumi, maybe, I should have written down the names. And then we wanted to go to Rosso and this like Italian, no, it's not even Italian, iconic like grill restaurant, but our reservation was at 9:30 and we were all tired on our last night. So we went to a diner, and I had an amazing vegan vanilla Oreo milkshake. Like the base was vanilla and then like Oreos mixed in. And I didn't know when you order a milkshake, I thought I was getting like special treatment. They brought the milkshake itself and then like the silver can or silver thing that they mix the milkshake in. So I got like 3 milkshakes worth of milkshake. I didn't know that was a thing. Anyways, on my flight here, I had a United flight from Berlin to New York before pre-LA. I sit down, and a stewardess comes up to me, a guy, and it's also so nice when you fly internationally with certain airlines. the stewardesses who get those international flights and then who get to work, I was talking business, who get to work in business, they are really like all, I would say, over 50, the most pro, like don't take that job really seriously, because it's very hard in this. I don't want to explain to you the world of stewardess because I know very, very little, but from the few people I know it's very hard to get the international flights. Like you need years of work before you know, usually you start with like the 1 hour commutes, like national, before you get any international flights. So yeah, when you have those international flights, the stewardesses with those kinds of airline, I know like Emirates and these airlines is like 20-year-olds because they have to be beautiful, but like a United, Delta, when I fly intercontinental, it's like, yeah, I love the energy because, you know, I'm a bit flight anxious, and then it's just like this like 60-year-old, whatever, what's a 60-year-old name for an American woman? Sylvie? No, that's French. Anyway, 6-year-old Sylvie, and she's seen everything. She's like, knows everyone on the plane, has her regulars. Like, I just instantly feel calm. Anyway, so I'm so excited for my business flight. I sit down and the steward comes up to chat to me, like, where are you going? How's the day going? And then just leans over me and says, has anybody ever told you that you look like Taylor Swift? And yes, they have. And this happens to me a lot. Sometimes I also get Billie Eilish, but you guys know I'm not a Taylor Swift fan. I'm also not a hater, but I have recently been getting that a lot since I'm blonde and have the shorter hair. I think it's the bangs, or it's just being white. I don't know. I don't really see the resemblance, but I was told that before. And I think I told this story on Brand Awareness before, but I feel like I want to tell it again because this has happened to me a lot over the last year, like being called Taylor Swift. But the most iconic moment, which is like maybe peak of my life, but also maybe a downfall, I don't know. I was at Rick Owens' house at like a little gathering, and obviously Rick doesn't really invite celebrities. They only, like, they get to go with their clients. And one huge client of Rick, or supporter, is Dave Chappelle. And yeah, he's always decked out in all Rick, and he's always at the shows, and he seems super lovely. And we're at this like thing at Rick's house, and there's not a lot of people. I would say like maybe 30 people. I don't know, I'm not good with numbers, but it was quite intimate. And I step out into the terrace, and Dave Chappelle looks at me and just screams in front of everyone like, oh my God, it's Taylor Swift. I love your music. And I like look at him, and I'm like usually quite quick with a comeback, but it's Dave Chappelle. Like, what do you say? And I don't know if it's an insult. I don't know if it's like just meant to be funny. And I'm just like, so I'm like, just like awkwardly laughing and like getting out of that situation. And I was so mortified that I couldn't say anything funny back to Dave Chappelle. So yeah, I'm really waiting for my comeback at some point. I don't even know if he would remember this if I ever see him at Fashion Week again. But I was mortified. I had no, like, what do you say when Dave Chappelle calls you, oh my God, Taylor Swift? I think he said, like, I love your music. And I was just, I should have said, like, do you want an autograph? Do you want a picture? Do you want an autograph? Anyways, it's the kind of conversation you repeat to yourself in the shower. Like, here's what I should have said. Yeah, I saw him at the last men's show, actually. He was so late that he had to stand quite close to me and watch standing because the seats were filled. But yeah, I have to think about that's my most iconic Taylor Swift story, but it happens to me a lot, and I don't know why. I have a bit of muscle ache. If you listen to the last episode, I'm trying to be in my workout era, in my gym era. I've not been eating very well this year, and I can feel it a little bit, and also energy-wise and for mental health. And I have this amazing gym in Berlin now that I'm going to. And yesterday I went to a yoga class with my boyfriend, just to get that out of the way and to have like not have the excuse of like I'm traveling to not work out, because I think I just have to accept that my life is travel. Like, I'm never in the same place for more than 10 days in the entire year. So I don't know why I'm making this like, oh, I can only work out when I'm home. Oh, I can only start the routine when I'm in Berlin for more than 2 weeks, because those 2 weeks don't exist. And it's the same with travel, and like I really don't do, I'm okay with the jet lag, but I don't do well with food changes. And fashion dinners, I'm sure I've talked about this before, but fashion dinners are not dinners. Like you sit, the dinner is at 9, which means you sit down at 10, which means at 10:30 the first like starter comes, and my management always says Brenda's plant-based, and then there's like a little salad for me at like 10:30. Like it's not a meal. So I'm trying to not do so many brand dinners and just have food at home. So I did my $120 grocery shop this morning, which got me like 2 apples, I feel like. But anyways, I'm really trying to be a bit more regimented, is the word, right? Working out, or at least doing like a 40-minute yoga thing. I did not love the thing yesterday, and I don't know, sorry that I'm whispering because I feel so guilty about this. I feel like my style of yoga is really not the traditional yoga, so I don't want to offend anybody with this, but I like a yoga where there's music on and you're just like in this flow, doing your own flow, maybe at your own time, maybe a little bit. And yesterday it was very stiff. You just go from pose to pose. Now's the warrior, now's the downward, now's the, and it felt a little bit, yeah, I didn't have so much fun. So I might do a new one tomorrow. I have all of these yoga things to try in Lower Manhattan, and yeah, that's quite exciting actually. What else? Oh, did I already tell you this? What we're doing today? I don't know. I'm doing a non-fashion event tonight, which is we're going to the quarterfinals of the US Open tennis. Have you guys watched Challengers this year? I have. I liked it. I like the synergy between the guys the most. I'm not the biggest Zendaya fan on screen. Oh, maybe this is really problematic to say, but I love Challengers. And yeah, we're seeing the quarterfinal of the US Open tonight. I already went last year for the first time and had so much fun, so I am really excited to go. And then, this is also very emotional, but I always have these like out of body experiences where I just look at myself in bird view and I'm like, what is my life? Like this is, I would say at least once a week, and during fashion week it's like 5 times a day. But the night before I flew to the US, I said yes to a Tiffany dinner just because, I don't know, I wanted to do something, get out of the house, because I'm very like this like overthinking like the night of travel and like checking if I packed the right things. Clearly I didn't for LA. And I was like, I'm gonna say yes to this event, even though I have to get up at 6 a.m. the next morning, but I don't drink anyways. And the kind of event where like sometimes I asked for a +1, but it wasn't really the vibe. So I really went to this dinner and I had no idea who I was sitting with. And in the end, I said, it was a really huge dinner. I sat across the host, who was so lovely. And Sven Markat, I don't know why I'm laughing, he's such a legend, the main bouncer of Berghain. He's so cool and nice. I've met him a bunch of times, but really, really lovely guy. And I was sat to the most amazing woman ever. And we had just like trauma dump Kiki for 3 hours, I think. And it was the first time I've met her. I knew who she was. And I've always had the feeling whenever I saw content of hers that we would get along. But yeah, I like to like wait for the right moment instead of like cringe introducing myself. So the host figured who we would get along and like sat us next to each other. And yeah, I went to the dinner like, oh, I'm kind of nervous. I don't like my outfit. I don't like how I look today. I don't know anyone there. Will it be awkward? And to be honest, when I walked into the event, I didn't see anyone that I knew at first. And I was like, ooh, this is gonna be a long night. And sit-down dinners, you can't really leave. And by the end of the dinner, I was there until like 12 or 12:30. And I was in the Uber home, this kind of like looking out the window and the wind is going in your hair kind of vibe, like what is my life? And I left with like 2 new friends and this amazing contact, and I've met so many great people. And it's so crazy how I would say in a quote unquote normal life, you make friends in school, and then you make friends in high school, and then in university, and then maybe you have 2 new friends a year through a job, and if you change jobs, or through your partner, but that's really it. Whereas my life is like, I get to meet new incredible people every day or every week. And sometimes it's even like luxury brands are doing like the matchmaking for me, and I feel, I don't know, I think that's so ridiculous and so amazing. And it's really the best thing about my job is the friendships that I make, but like I really get to meet the most incredible humans every day of the week. And I I have this constant flow of people and being able to connect people and like, oh, I've always wanted to meet you, and I'm getting this like bucket list of people, and they're just being like served to me on a silver platter by events. You know, they're just like organizing these dinners, organizing a party, organizing a show. And if you're open-minded, of course, sometimes I sit at a fashion show and the person next to me is like on their phone and like does not want to interact with me or anyone. It doesn't have to be personal, but and I also don't want to overdo this like desperate like networking thing, like you have to meet everyone. But yeah, I like every day of the week I get to meet a new person, and every year of my life I have the most like incredible additions to my life, and I'm so grateful for that, because I really think sometimes I take it for granted, and it is not normal that you have a new person in your life every other month. You know, that is so great and so inspiring and so funny, and changes your perspective on things and a whole new outlook. And yeah, I felt like that after that Tiffany dinner. Like, it was so worth it leaving the house, and I had a really cute night. And yeah, I can't believe that like brands do this like matchmaking for me, if that makes sense. Yeah, so I had a really, really good time there. Yeah, New York Fashion Week starts tomorrow. I have my first show at 10:30 in the morning, which is Proenza. I just looked at the PDF they sent my management for dressing, and I didn't love it. I feel like we're a bit late, so I'm wearing my own outfit. I have to think what I'm wearing tomorrow. I love Proenza. It's my third time going or fourth time going. And then I have my first ever Kate show. What else do I have? I'm really sad to miss Loire because I'm leaving a day early. And then I have my best friend's wedding coming up in Milan, which I'm so excited. And then Berlin, and then Milan, and then Paris. It's a whole new thing. I feel like I told you this before, but I don't love to stay in hotel rooms during Fashion Week for more than 3 days because I get anxious. And like I just said, I want my own food. I want to make my oatmeal in the morning. So I always have this amazing sublet from people that I know in Paris, and it just fell through. So I am panicking because I don't have a place to stay. I'm hoping something will sort itself out. Yeah, that's that on that. I'm very excited for New York Fashion Week. I am now half based in New York. I don't know if I'm ever like properly announcing this. And so I'm trying this Fashion Week, not to do too much, but like to show up to a few events as well. Here it's very different scene of like the events, and you go in and you do your BFA photograph and this whole vibe. So I'm trying to participate a little bit and tell people that I'm based here. Yeah, that's that on that. What else am I doing today? I have some more just errands to run. Yeah, that's it. I hope everyone is doing really well. I hope if you're in fashion, you're excited for New York Fashion Week or Fashion Month, and that you're getting great jobs, and that you're putting yourself out there, and that, yeah, I either get introduced by someone or someone introduces themselves to me. But what I used to do at events, I was like, if I go out tonight, like if I leave my house, it has to be worth it. So I really always set myself the challenge of getting like one new contact at every event. That was such a German thing to do, event. At every event that I went, I fucked myself over now. I would challenge myself, like you have to meet at least one new person at everything that you go to, even if it's not like getting their card or getting the number, but like you said hi to a new person. So I used to always do that, and now I'm in a very lucky position where people like introduce themselves, or I get introduced to friends. But yeah, I'm quite excited for this week, and I hope you like my setup today. I'm just in front of this white wall. My boyfriend's apartment is very colorful, so I'm suffering here in silence. Not in silence, he knows. Yeah, okay. I feel like now I'm dragging the ending. Thank you so much for listening to Brand Awareness, episode 14. I'm really glad you're here, and we speak soon. Bye!